What's up out there, American truckers? Welcome to Trucking with Old Snapper. And of course, I'm your host, Old Snapper. Gonna be comparing 1099s and W-2s today. Alright. Anytime I'm talking about fact, I'm gonna be looking down at my computer because that's where I got everything brought up at. I didn't want to put something out as fact and it not be fact. Okay? So I always double check myself. But I'll also be talking about some of my opinions here as well. And when I do, I'll be stating this is just my opinion. That way the two don't get mixed up. I try to keep it as straight as I can, so I don't put false information out there over the airways, I hope all of y'all are doing great. Hope all y'all are staying safe, staying out of trouble, being kind to one another. Remember, we are all family out here. Of course, I'm still in the hotel room. Probably getting back in my truck tomorrow, but this video is going to release way later. Since I'm in the hotel and I got plenty of room, I'm going to be recording a series of videos on a series of topics that I had been wanting to do. It's much easier for me to do in a hotel than it is in my truck, as I'm sure some of you would realize. It's a lot of equipment to set up to try to do it in the truck. But bear with me. The article I'm using for my information, the reference point, is actually Motley Fool. Motley Fool is also who I use for, I use them and a couple of others for information on stocks. Because as some of y'all know, I play in the stock market a little bit. So I use these references here to help me with making choices within the stock market as well. But anyway, we're going to get right into this. W-2 versus 1099. I'm going to give you my opinion up front, and then we're going to get down into this article. If I'm working 1099, there's a few things I would want. One, I want to be able to pick my loads. I want to be able to pick my time off. I want to go home when I want to go home. I should be in control of my truck going home. And I want to be home for as long as I want to be home. Because if I'm an independent contractor, those four things should be my choice, right? In my opinion, if I don't have control over those four things, if I'm missing any one of those four things, I'm not a 1099 employee. That's my opinion. That's just my personal opinion. If I don't have those four things, I would rather work W-2. Because if you want the benefit of a 1099 employee, well, then you're going to give me the benefits of being a 1099 employee. Or a 1099 contractor. I'm probably wording that wrong. 1099, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, that's old Snapper's opinion. I want those four things. That's kind of why I've always been against these leases. Because they'll lease you a truck. They'll let you have the maintenance. They'll pay you 1099 status. But then they control your loads. They control your home time. Well, you're no different than a company driver. Might as well have been a company driver, right? Let me readjust this. There we go. Right? Think about it. You're paying all the taxes. You don't have insurance. You're missing all these other benefits that a W-2 employee has. And that company is saving that money because they don't have to pay for those things. So why not give you full run? If you're going to be an independent contractor, you're an independent contractor. It means you make your own choices and decisions, right? Yeah, that's the way I see it. Not everybody agrees, and that's okay. You don't have to agree. That's just the way I feel about it. I have worked 1099. And that's just how I feel about it. All right, let's get into this article down here. All right, 1099 versus W-2, the employee's perspective. Well, some companies, you get the choice, but in our line of work, some companies pay that way, and some don't. 1099 employee is gonna pay twice the taxes. Going to pay for Social Security and FICA taxes. Going to pay twice. The reason being is a W-2 employee only pays half. The employer pays the other half. That's one of the benefits of being a W-2 employee. I only pay half the taxes. My employer pays the other half of my taxes. But as a 1099 independent contractor, the employer doesn't pay any of your taxes. They pay you a gross. You're responsible for paying the whole thing. So you're paying twice the taxes. But as an independent contractor, you have things you can deduct to try to eat away at that. But odds are you're still going to pay more taxes than I am on W-2. So you can deduct whatever, there's all kinds of things you can deduct in the trucking industry as a 1099. The other disadvantage is insurance. A W-2 employee oftentimes is going to have insurance, medical, dental, vision, life insurance, all provided by the company at a discounted rate. Good example of that is I have myself plus 2 kids, and I have medical, dental, vision, life insurance, long-term disability, short-term disability. Also have a couple of other things. There's some kind of deal that, like if I get cancer or something like that, it pays. It covers a lot of that. I got some of that extra stuff too. But I pay for all of that for me and 2 kids. And I'm a smoker. And I'm paying $80 a week. My employer is paying $180. I think I'd have to look at it. It's over $100 a week. They're paying more of it a week than I am. Plus, we're on a group policy, which makes it even cheaper because we're a big company. Now, as a 1099 independent contractor, I think it's probably the first time I worded it correctly. You're on your own. You're on your own for getting insurance, and sometimes I'll encounter people and are like $84 a week. My insurance is less than that. Yeah, it probably is. And all you got's medical, right? I got medical, dental, vision, life insurance, long-term disability, short-term disability, that cancer care coverage. You ain't got all that for $84 for less than what I'm paying, I promise you. If you just medical insurance, maybe. But I got all those things that go along with it. I got $100,000 worth of life insurance. So no, you don't have all that. You're not going to get all that. And if you do, it ain't no good. I can promise you that. Now, as an independent contractor, 1099 independent contractor, you can go get that stuff on your own, and you can shop around. You might be able to find it, a decent rate on it. Or if you feel you don't need it, don't go get it. That's up to you, But as an independent contractor, you're 100% on your own for that. Something else to think about is retirement. Now, as a W-2 employee, most employers, my employer, they offer retirement. I got a 401k plan. 401ks are not the greatest. I wouldn't go and stack all my money in them. Do I use them? Yeah. I put money in them. It wouldn't make sense not to. Company's going to match whatever I put in it. It's free money, Not only that, but they're putting my profit sharing every year goes into it. That's another $2 or $3 grand every year that goes into it. So it's about $12,000 a year, $13,000 a year goes into that 401k. And then the 401k will either grow or shrink depending on how the bank invests the money, because it goes into the market. Like here, our 401ks are invested in some type of Vanguard ETF. So if that ETF goes up or down, our money goes up and down with it. But on average, it does about 8 to 10% a year, so that money's going in there every paycheck. And then my money's doing 8 to 10% a year on top of that. So it's pretty good. I mean, it's a decent retirement, but I also have other retirement off on the side. Now, as a 1099 independent contractor, whatever you put in your retirement is just what you put in there. There's nobody going to match it because you're on your own. You're an independent contractor. Whereas with my retirement, my company matches it. So if I put $10 in there, they match my $10. I got 20. You put $10 in there, you got your $10. That's it. Now you can go and put your money into SIP IRAs or simple IRAs. There's different IRAs for different tax reasons, tax purposes. There's a bunch of them. And set up your own retirement. And I strongly encourage you to work on your own retirement. Because if you're not, you're going to work till the day you die. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be driving a truck 70 years old because I didn't plan for retirement. You know what I'm saying? So drivers, put a little bit of thought into it and think about your retirement. Think about what you got coming for tomorrow, brothers and sisters. Now, as for the employer, employers love 1099. I ain't even got to read it from down there. I can tell you that. Employers love 1099. What do employers love about a 1099? Well, number one, it's easier to fire you. It's easier to end the relationship with a 1099 contractor than it is an employee. With a W-2 employee, they have to go through a series of steps. There's got to be write-ups and all types of different things in order to terminate that employee. Also with a W-2 employee, you got to be real careful how you terminate them because they'll go draw unemployment on you. 1099, it's a whole lot easier with less BS in there. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if a 1099 independent contractor can even draw unemployment. It wasn't in this article. And some of the research I did, I found mixed deals. But for the most part, it said no. So if you're 1099 and you know differently, please comment below because I'd be interested in it. And if you know where I can go look that information up, let me know. But that's another reason employers like 1099. Another reason employers like 1099 is obviously they're not paying any of your taxes. You're responsible for 100% of your taxes. All right. So, because they're not paying any of it. Whereas with a W-2, they're paying 50%. You know what I'm saying? They're responsible for 50% of whatever taxes that, that W-2 employee has to pay. But as 1099, you're paying 100% of it. So yeah, companies love 1099. It's a great business model. And if you can word a 1099 contract with an independent contractor correctly, you can run them almost just like an employee and not have to pay them all of the things that you would have to pay a W-2 employee. So, it's very much beneficial to a company to hire 1099, which is why you see that happening a lot nowadays. Now, am I saying it's bad to run 1099? No, it's not. It's not. It depends on what company, depends on how educated you are, knowing what your deductions can be. Whether you're set up with LLC or S Corp, S Corp is probably your best option for tax benefits. And you're paying your taxes. Trust me, you're going to pay them one day. You want to pay them all at once, or you want to sit in jail, you want to lose your house, or whatever. But you're going to pay them, so you might as well be paying them every year. There's another channel out there, SoCal Trucking. He talks about S Corps a lot. There's a lot of tax benefits to an S Corp. But there's many different ways to structure your business. And he gets into that quite a bit. And he's a pretty good one to watch if you want to learn about how to structure your business in such a way you save as much money as you can on your taxes. Make sure you do it right, though, brothers and sisters. Don't get yourself caught up in a mess. Don't go losing your car. Don't go losing your house because you're trying to save some money on some taxes. All right? Make sure you do it legally. IRS don't play, and right now we got a Democratic administration up there. They need every dollar they can get. So if you try to slide them, they're coming to get it. Best believe it. They're going to come get it and then some. They're going to take all you got. But anyway, that's the basics of 1099 versus W-2.